calluses to show for it. In spite of my limited athletic ability, my awkward, lumbering, running style remains a source of great mockery among my friends. I worked myself into a decent enough hitter. I smacked a few home runs in Little League, batted in the middle of the lineup for teams through my early years of high school, and spent a year on the varsity roster. I was good, or at least I wasn't abjectly terrible by the standards of my little corner of suburbia. But true hitting, that indescribable feeling of the bat connecting with the ball and then watching it soar over everybody's heads, the kind of hitting that forces people to look at each other and say, "How far did that go?" remained elusive and tantalizing. I wanted to experience it more and more with each boring ground ball single up the middle. I just didn't know how to do it. Except for that one magical day. My teammates, who thought that they knew my skill set after nearly a decade of watching me hit, were thrilled. The umpire was shocked. It was like a fantasy. Anybody who had seen me at the plate that day would have walked away from the field convinced that I had a future as a ball player, that I was something special. But here's the thing. I had no idea how I managed to pull that off. As far as I knew, I wasn't doing anything differently from what I had always done. I was swinging the same way I always had, only the ball was exploding off my bat and flying to places I never previously imagined I could reach. It was like a scene out of The Natural, with me filling in for Robert Redford. I returned from my next game a few days later, emboldened, ready to continue my new life as a superstar slugger destined for greatness. But when I stepped up to the plate, it was like the previous game had never happened. The thunder in my bat had reverted once again to a gentle breeze. I was a mere mortal, tapping grounders to second base like I always had. I spent the rest of my baseball playing days trying to recapture the magic of the game that afternoon at Dean Field. I replayed the at-bats over and over in my head, desperate to unlock the secret to what I had done. The game continued to haunt me long after I put away my spikes for the final time. My father and I had countless conversations about it through the years, until our words were largely replaced by longing sighs for what could have been. I've relayed the story to my wife, to my friends, to my colleagues enough times that they have it memorized. I'm not entirely sure if they all believe it happened in quite the way I tell the tale, but they're usually polite enough to humor me. Sometimes I wonder if I imagined the whole thing, if it's some false memory created in the deepest recesses of my subconscious. Even now, playing in beer league softball games on unkempt fields scattered around New York City, I cling in vain to the belief that the power I kindled on that day more than 15 years ago will somehow return. It never has. It probably never will. But for one day, for reasons I may never fully understand, I conquered the skill that is widely considered to be the toughest in all of sports. I had found the perfect swing, completely by accident. The only question was, how? Introduction. The Revolution. The Los Angeles Dodgers entered the 2019 baseball season saddled with pressure, facing the wrath of an enormous and passionate fan base across Southern California, unwilling to accept any more heartbreak. For the past 6 years, the Dodgers had served as the ultimate tease, raising expectations only to tear them down, leaving behind the sort of profound discontentment that comes only with unconsummated success. From 2013 through 2018, the Dodgers won more games than any other team in the sport. They won 6 consecutive National League West titles, a reign of supremacy unmatched in any division in the decade. In their last 2 playoff runs, they had reached the World Series. But despite all of that, the Dodgers couldn't escape one simple fact. Both times they went to the Fall Classic, they lost. In 2017, the Houston Astros outlasted them in a 7-game thriller. A year later, the Boston Red Sox steamrolled them in 5. All told,